Today we're going to show you the exact hair tonics and wash routine that calm my scalp and help my hair feel fuller and healthier again. Plus, the new experiment we're setting up to compare the differences. We're keeping this simple. In this video, we're going to walk you through 3 main pieces.
And here's a quick disclaimer. This is not medical advice, and we're not promising hair regrowth or a cure for hair loss.
Always patch test your essential oils and go slow. My original formula used a blend of rosemary, lavender, basil, marjoram, and cedarwood essential oils and argan oil. At the time, I was just focused on getting those oils on my scalp, and I didn't fully appreciate how strong the formula really was. I've been using the blend for about 1.5 years, and for me personally, it felt good. My scalp calmed down, I noticed little baby hairs growing, and it didn't cause any adverse effects. But once we dug a little deeper into the essential oil safety, I realized my mixture ratio had more essential oil and less carrier oil than recommended. I don't suggest you start here. That brings us to my new hair tonic with jojoba oil. This keeps the same essential oils as the original blend, but this time I left argan out. I made sure to use the right amount of carrier oil this time. Jojoba feels lighter on my scalp. It's closer to our natural sebum, and by increasing the carrier oil, I was able to improve the efficiency of the new hair tonic. On a clean, dry scalp, I part my hair and apply a small amount of the new tonic directly onto the scalp. Then I massage it in with my fingertips and comb it through with my bass brush. My brushes are all natural with wood handles, rubber pads, and wood or metal pins. No plastic bristles, no synthetic padding, which means no microplastics. Look for my new tonic recipe with jojoba oil in the description below.
We follow an oil application, then a washout routine, and we use a coconut oil, castor oil, Castile soap, and an apple cider vinegar rinse. First, I rinse my hair thoroughly with warm water and just get it fully saturated. Then I rub in a small amount of coconut oil and castor oil. That sits for at least 30 minutes. This allows the castor oil to enhance the coconut's anti-inflammatory and conditioning properties. Afterwards, I wash my hair with Castile soap to remove any unabsorbed oils. Just make sure to focus on the massaging of the scalp, not scrubbing the ends alone. Once the soap is rinsed out, I finish with an apple cider vinegar rinse. This helps balance the scalp's pH and reduces any dry, itchy feeling. Remember, putting any undiluted vinegar on your skin, it could cause you some irritation, so be careful.
Once my hair is dry, it feels soft, has more volume, and doesn't have that stiff, dried out feeling. It just feels like real hair again.
Yep.
I want to get the shampoo she's using.
Here's one more layer to this routine, a Rosemary-Castor pre-wash infusion. We're going to test this against our coconut castor pre-wash we use now. In a clean glass jar, I added dry rosemary, then poured castor oil over it until the rosemary is fully covered. I labeled the jar and will store it in a cool, dark place for about 30 days. After 30 days, I'll strain out the rosemary and use the infused castor oil as my pre-wash oil before shampooing.
The key point here is that we're just treating this as an experiment. Devin's going to compare 2 things: her current pre-wash blend of coconut oil plus castor oil and the new rosemary-infused castor oil pre-wash.
I'll keep everything else the same. Same wash routine, same tonic with jojoba, and pay attention to how my hair responds. In a future video, I'll walk you through exactly how I use the rosemary pre-washed oil and how it compares to the coconut.
We'll show you the good, the bad, and the ugly without all the commercialized hype. Let's talk quickly about why we choose these ingredients and why we cut out the others. Oil blends, including rosemary, lavender, and cedarwood, were used for certain types of hair loss issues. There are also studies where rosemary performed just as good as a low dose of minoxidil. We have plenty of data on harsh surfactants like sodium lauryl sulfate. They could damage the skin barrier that show endocrine disrupting effects in clinical studies. Now, some claim these chemicals have no impact on your health, but when most of your products contain the same or similar chemicals, you're only increasing the chemical exposure. Greater exposure to chemicals increases health risks over time.
Now let's talk about the fragrances and perfumes.
That's just a legal black box. It can represent a mix of many chemicals, and companies don't have to tell you what they are. That's a red flag for us. So our approach is simple. Reduce as many known irritants as possible and support the scalp with ingredients having some data behind them and something our bodies can actually tolerate.
We're not telling you to throw everything away. We're showing you a natural way to simplify and detoxify your life. We love our hair treatment so much, we use it on our alligators too.
Which is just Castile soap and an apple cider vinegar rinse. Oh my goodness!
Oh jeez, that didn't work out. You can download my recipe guide Also, I provided links to the oils, Castile soap, and the bath brushes that we use in the description below.
Don't take our word for it. I provided the study links in the description and learn how to read your own labels.
If you want to see how the Rosemary-Castor pre-wash infusion performs once it's ready, like and subscribe. I'll let you know in a future video.
In the comments, tell us the one product which irritates your scalp and whether you started cutting out fragrances and harsh surfactants yet.
Oh!